Three, two, one. Welcome to Real Hospitality Live. Very excited today to be talking with entrepreneur and co-founder of Pure Plus Kombucha and Kefir Water, Tim Hill. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Jade.
And his team, James McGregor. Hey, James.
How's it going?
Good. And the world famous JJ Frasier.
Hello.
How are you, JJ?
Doing well this morning, thanks.
Good, good. I have been introduced to a new world. I got to tell you, I've tried kombucha before, and I swear I'd never try it again. And you have changed my ways. So many possibilities. I got to tell you, I tried a bunch. I tried the mojito lime. Big fan. That it begs for alcohol to be added to it. My son said it smells like apple pie, and he's a hard one to sell. So let's talk about kombucha. Let's talk about your company. Let's talk about where you guys came up with this idea. Tim, why kombucha of all things? If you were going to start something in an industry, where did you come up with the idea for kombucha, and what was the draw?
Yeah, so we actually started off in tea. So we were actually in the tea industry. Okay. And so we had a little tea store that we kind of started up, and we were blending our own teas. And we focused on organic, and at the time nobody was doing organic tea. We had like 120 different loose leaf teas. Right. And then during that time, my wife's mother got very sick, and we started having children. At that point it was 2. And then and we were kind of looking at health and how we can look after ourselves going forward. So it wasn't just about looking after yourself just now. It was like, I want to be around when my kids are older. I want to make sure that I get to enjoy my life in my 70s or my 60s or however long it is. And so we started looking at the ingredients that we're putting into our teas, and then started to get into this kombucha. So my wife did what a lot of wives do, is they brought this glass counter and put it on the counter and filled it up. And there was this funny little thing on top. And so she started to make it, try to explain what this kombucha thing was. So we kind of gradually got into this. She made me the first batch. I wasn't sure, but I willing to go for it, tasted it, and was like, actually, this is pretty good. And I was like, is this healthy? Yeah, this is really healthy for you. And it's like probiotics and bacteria. So we kind of started drinking it at home, and just, you suddenly started to feel a lot better. Your body started to feel fresher. The digestive problems were kind of starting to become easier to deal with and starting to dissipate. So we started off bottling in the kitchen at our store, and selling it there. And it went from little glass containers to large kind of fusilli containers that were like 50 liters, and then suddenly it became 100 liters, and then we were looking at 500 liters, and it just started to grow and grow and grow really quickly, to the point that we use like 12,000 liter tanks now. So it's a big change.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I know that there's gut health. People talk about gut health with these products. They talk about kind of the science behind it. I mean, you hear prebiotic, probiotic, everything is healthy.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? What can you kind of educate us on regarding your product and regarding this type of a product? Because I mean, there are different things out there, and why is this beneficial? And if you can give me a little bit of the science on it, I'm super interested in that.
Sure. So, I mean, if we look at just kombucha as a whole, and then I'll drop into our product after that. Yeah. So with kombucha, really what you're getting probiotics, and then you're getting some healthy bacteria. And there's certain bacteria that you're getting. And that's the same with fermented products. So whether it's kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, water kefir, milk kefir, you're getting kind of a lot of those effects. And so what that does is that populates the flora, the kind of the garden that's happening within your gut. It gets rid of a lot of the bad bacteria, and all of that bacteria, it helps with your digestion. So it helps with the digestion of your of the foods that you're consuming. And then there's that correlation between how this healthy gut and this healthy mind kind of starts to work. So it does a lot more than just digestion. It actually kind of starts to affect your mood. It can lift depression. It can help with sleeping. It can make you feel happier because everything's kind of working properly. And there's actually a lot of kind of thought processes that goes on in your gut in terms of the amount of neurons that you have in your gut is far more than what you have in your brain. So there's a lot of kind of great science that's coming out that's kind of starting to support this. With the kombucha, there's a lot of claims in terms of bacteria, healthy acids. It will do this, it will do that. It started off being famous with someone saying, hey, it cured me of cancer. We kind of don't go into that. Right. There's not a lot of support of that. But, I mean, there's people like Reagan that said, hey, I drank this much kombucha and it cured me of cancer. So kind of,
okay,
no one's going to go out and say, this is what it does.
Right.
Well, they shouldn't do anyway. But there is actually certain scientific tests that have been done, mainly in Eastern Europe, because they've had it for a lot longer. A lot of the testing has been on animal trials. And the reactions from that. And when it comes to kind of scientific evidence, ideally we kind of start off in animal trials and then move into human testing. But that leap, the cost of it is phenomenal. Right. And at this point, there isn't a government that's willing to step in to fund it.
Right.
And certainly any of the kind of large corporations out there aren't willing to fund it as well, because it's not necessarily benefiting themselves. So. Right. So at this point, there's a lot of information that you can get on the internet, and some of it is absolute garbage, right. And some of it is actually quite well supported. So that's kind of the kombucha, and then within our products, really our focus was on firstly cutting down the sugar. And so when we're looking at, around about 3 grams of sugar per serving, that was quite important to us. So we wanted to make sure that we cut back on the sugar, cut back on the calories, so that you have a beverage that is functionally healthy for you without adding toxins to your system. So we worked very hard kind of bringing that down, and then kind of bringing a lot of science into the production and manufacturing of it to ensure that we eat up as much sugar as possible.
Well, I think reducing the sugar in any drinks right now is a big key. I mean, there's so many different examples that it's actually almost offensive, the amount of sugar that goes into a product.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and I think, I mean, we're all kind of similar age here. I'll be kind to us, Jay. But we kind of grew up with this whole industry of, hey, consume this, it tastes great. You want to have that, it tastes great. And there was a little bit of talk about sugars and kind of, maybe we shouldn't be consuming quite as many sugars as we are, but it was really brushed under. So I think this day and age that we're living in is really exciting. I think there's a lot of innovation that's starting to come out. A lot of companies that are trying to change this industry, reduce the sugar content, add healthier ingredients. And there's a real drive from our customers to say, look, I want to be healthy. I want to enjoy what I'm consuming, but I want you to help me get healthier as well at the same time. So I think it's a great time to be in the food and beverage industry and the hospitality industry now.
I think when you say healthy too, I mean, healthy is such a almost a white noise word these days, but people are starting to recognize ingredients, going back to natural ingredients, and you guys are certified in, I mean, you can probably name them better than I can, obviously, but or organic and in different regions.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about kind of how you got to that and some of the sourcing maybe that you've done. This is a great opportunity for people who are watching this to learn how business builds up into this into this status, into this way, and how and what customers are looking for. And that's why I was so excited to have you guys on to really talk about and talk with people who are doing it and have learned it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, so like I said, we started off with tea. So the kombucha is basically fermented tea. So the tea is this major component of the ingredients that we put together. Now, when we were blending teas, we made a decision at that time to go organic. There wasn't a lot of organic tea around, but when you understand what happens with tea, so as they grow the tea plant, if it's not organic, they're spraying chemicals over the tea plant.
Right.
And then what happens is they come and they pick all the tea leaves, and then they put those, they oxidize it or dry the tea leaves. Those chemicals then get dried into the tea leaves itself. So it then gets packaged and then sent off to you as a consumer. So then as a consumer, you come and you put your tea in and you pour your hot water over, and then the first drink that you get is all those chemicals. It's actually just washed out all the chemicals and the heavy metals and everything straight into your cup, and that's the first thing that you consume.
Right.
So for us as a family, and as this business, we had to make a decision: who are we going to be when we go forward? Are we going to be people that are just going to we just want to make sales and we just want to just sell a whole load of products, or are we going to stand on something that we're going to be proud of at the end of our life? And that was where we went, you know what, we're going to go organic. We can't do that to our customers. We can't do that to ourselves. We don't want to have people getting sick later on in life from what we've provided them. So we went organic, and so we're certified organic globally. So we're certified in Canada, in the US, in Japan, in Europe, and really that's down to the quality of ingredients that we're bringing in. The certification process is quite difficult because it's not just the ingredients, it's also the manufacturing side and the cleaning of the tanks, the bottling, all of that.
Right.
So they take all of this into consideration to make sure that your final product is organic as well.
Right.
So that was super important to us. When it comes to the teas, this is where this knowledge really comes in. With teas, you get different flushes. So like a different flush, they're like plants, they bloom in different seasons, and different seasons will have different tastes. And so, it's great to be sitting around here with chefs that really understand a different taste profile depending on when you've taken that from its source. So you grab salad that's grown fresh in your garden, that's part of that season, versus what's been transported to you that you've had to pick up in the grocery store because it's not seasonal. Right. Like you really understand that different taste profile, and that happens in this beverage. So you're trying to create a product that you are going to sell year round and use different flushes with different taste profiles, and now you have to adjust your production to ensure that you get a consistent taste profile.
Right.
And that's pretty exciting to be able to come out with a final product and do that.
You become part gardener, part scientist, part chef.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of the above.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's interesting, and that's why you get into this. That's where your passion comes from, because a challenge is something that really keeps you going. If it was easy, you just get bored and just move on to the next thing. So, well, most of us would anyway.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting bored, I don't want to leave the boys out of the conversation.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to just jump back to a piece that Tim spoke to on the gut health. There's a lot of really cool science coming out about it, but what the basis of it comes down to is this is a healthy acid. So similar to how people will drink apple cider vinegar. What's happening during that process is it's helping balance the pH level of your body, and that flora that Tim referred to. And when things are out of balance is when you find when you get sick. So where the claims of kombucha helped cure my cancer, well, what more likely happened is the kombucha or the acidity there, the good acidity, helped bring that pH scale back into the happy level, so that cancer thrives in an acidic environment. So when you can balance that back down to not be out of whack is where that can really be beneficial. So I don't think anyone's going to claim that kombucha is going to cure cancer, but it can help your body be in a better place, and a happier place to not get there. So
that makes perfect sense. I know Tim and I were talking yesterday, and I had to say save it for today. But when you talk about having kombucha, for example, since we're on that particular product, some people believe that you are only supposed to have a little bit at a time, or a little shot at a time, like a 15 mils or whatever it is. And I mean, I was surprised and happy to learn that no, that's not the case. It's meant to be something. And Tim, if you want to follow up, I mean, how much of it, to create this happy pH, should you be having?
Yeah, well, I mean, really, this is the internet at its best, isn't it? Which is, is not substantiated, and really is just out there just to get you worried about it. Like anything, if you overconsume on anything, there's a danger. So you can overconsume on water and you can die from it. So we always have to take that into consideration. When people say to me, look, can I take too much kombucha? My response is, we make cocktails with it. So my wife and I have sat there at night and had, well, let's say we drink enough for a parent of 5 children. So we'd have a few cocktails, kind of stumble to bed, wake up in the morning. There's never been any problems. And we're drinking it during the day. We're in manufacturing. We're consuming it in the facility. We drink at least one a day ourselves. So yeah, you can drink quite a lot. I mean, I've had 5, 6 in a day, and it's not been any problem. I've had more than that, and so it's really not been an issue. But what I will say is that in terms of the effect of your body, if you're just trying to populate your body with good bacteria, with good probiotics, with healthy acids, your body is only going to take what it needs. So in the same with vitamins, if you're going to sit there and you're going to pound through a whole load of vitamins, there's a lot of that you're just going to be flushing out.
Right.
So you don't necessarily need to have more than the serving, than the bottle in the day. That will be enough. However, if you're going to jump from that into a soda, or you're going to jump from that into a high sugar drink, why would you drink that over the kombucha? Because with 3 grams of sugar, it's a healthier option, and that's the point. Is you can drink more if you want to. If you just want the probiotics and the bacteria, one's enough.
I can kind of speak to that as well as a professional coffee consumer. I would say in my other life as a chef, I spent many years basically supplementing my energy and ability to focus throughout the day by pounding back coffee. And what I've found is since switching over to kombucha, I can drink one of our energy lines, which we can get into a little bit later in the more specifics, but the yerba mate in there provides a different level of focus. So then we can talk more about the functional aspect of our beverages. But really what I found is my gut is happier. There's no kind of stomach burn from drinking too much coffee, and there's no crash at the end of it. So I get a really great mental focus and no crash at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon where I need to go back to drinking coffee again.
It's funny you say 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because I was just about to say, so that burn starts around 2, and by 3 you're in dire need of another coffee.
Yeah, you have to keep it going, and then you're lying in bed o'clock at night with your eyes wide open, counting the tiles on the ceiling. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Now, James,
Yes.
we don't want to leave you out.
No. Well, you know what?
Your position with the company is?
I'm actually the VP of sales.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And I want to pause for a second and talk to you, because at this point, if people haven't come across your product, I want you to tell us where and how and how we can get involved. And I'll tell you why specifically. I posted a picture of Tim and I, and people started asking, so where can I get this? Where can I get this? Where can I get this already? And they happen to be in Vancouver. Yeah. So what markets are you focusing on? What particular, are you going restaurant? Are you going health shops? Are you going, what area? I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, definitely. So we're really kind of refocusing. The market jumped into grocery store very quick. So we're actually refocusing, going more kind of grassroots. So we're going to yoga studios. We are still dealing with grocery stores, but our main focus is going more towards the health food stores. There was kind of this issue of a lot of companies going to the grocery store, not educating people on how to even take care of a probiotic. So kind of in the sense of where Tim was saying, hey, we put the best quality into our drinks. We also protect the quality of our drinks. So you see a lot of companies out there putting probiotics into a clear container. Yeah, it looks pretty. People want to grab it, but the reality is that sunlight actually kills probiotics. So if you ever gone to buy a probiotic in your health food store, it's in a dark container in the fridge, hidden away from light, because it actually deteriorates, just like beer. It's in a dark bottle. So we're actually kind of backtracking a bit in our industry right now for us, and re-educating the health food stores and getting them to push that education to pretty much our end consumer. We are also focusing on restaurants as well, just because they're ready for it now. There's enough want, need with the flavors and the different products we have. That interest is huge now. So, I mean, we are in places like Whole Foods, so locally in Vancouver, and throughout the city, we're in a lot of different places. But yeah, it's kind of re-educating and refocusing to educate our consumer to stick with us, really.
Now, you talk about restaurants.
Yes.
And had you 2 days ago told me you were going to put kombucha in restaurants, I would have gone, oh, I tried this product. And man, it's good. It's really good. And Tim actually said to me yesterday, which I thought was funny. He goes, no, you can try it for the first time on the show if you want to. He goes, I'm that confident. Now I know why. Yeah. Now I know why he said it. So good on you, Tim. Absolutely. So where are you guys looking to expand this product? I mean, I know you guys are, of course, you're based here in Vancouver. And what areas are you in now? Where are you looking to expand? And I want to talk to that for a second, since I have you front and center, James. And then we'll go back to talk about the specific products and what's available, what you guys are making.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're looking to expand as far as we can. We actually are across Canada. Okay. So we do have distribution across Canada already. We are looking to refocus with like Cisco and GFS to try and get more into the restaurants and other areas. Mm-hmm. Product-wise, we have 4 functional kombuchas, and then we have 5 normal flavors like the mojito that you talked about. And then we also have 5 water kefirs. Right. So there's quite a lineup. To kind of go to the functional, we've taken it one step further for water keeper. Oh, you got the water keeper. There you go. So we've actually taken kombucha one step further than just, everyone knows kombucha, and you're getting people go, okay, I got this flavor and that flavor. It's like, okay, well, what really stands out in that market? So we really have a red sea of kombucha. So we've really taken that step and gone into functional with our energy, detox, and happy. So we have 4 products, and they all have botanicals. So obviously Tim was talking about the expertise in tea. Well, we've taken that and put it into our kombucha. So each product has a function, like the happy has valerian root. So it's going to help you relax, and it's giving you that extra little bit that's going to really kind of get you caught. And as you can see, the packaging really pulls you in.
Oh yeah.
So it's simple. I mean, how do you feel today? I'm a bit tired. Oh, okay. Well, we got energy here. So that, like JJ was saying, oh, I had a rough night last night. I went out drinking. Oh, well, we got detox for you. You know, so we really simplified it, especially for the consumer, where it's just like, oh, that makes sense. I can grab that.
Since you mentioned the branding and whatnot, when I tried the Black Label,
Yeah.
which is your premium brand, I the first thing I thought of was, you know what? Some bartenders need to start making some drinks with this. There needs to be a recipe challenge with this. I mean, if this is behind the bar and we're adding gin or rum to this over ice, wow. I mean, that's what a market. I mean, and you guys have done such a great job of the flavor that I think it's a really short step for this to be over the bar. I mean,
I would agree. And there's a couple different angles that we're taking with that. One, we have restaurants in Vancouver that are already pouring these just on their own. There are, if you look into a couple, I mean, really the trend that I've seen is there's a growing non-alcohol section of menus.
Mm-hmm.
So Havana has us listed. Havana on commercial has us listed on their non-alc section, just the bottle on its own. Where I've gone into restaurants and spoken with people in the industry, there are cocktails being made, there are mixes being made with kombucha, and it's really easy. Personally, and I think Tim can talk to the Keifer a little bit more, but I think Keifer is a better blend with alcohol, just because it's got a little bit higher sugar content, and it still has probiotics and it still has the healthy benefits. And it's tough when you get into the mixing with alcohol market, because we are driving a healthy product. But a lot of people would consider the mixing of alcohol into it to be not as healthy.
That's not what I was promoting.
And another part of it as well is that we have a lot of kitchen staff that actually just drink it throughout the night. We have Shambar that goes through 3 kegs a week. Yes. And it's not just the fact that their patrons are drinking it. It's because it's a drink that's keeping your staff healthy. I mean, you want your staff showing up every day. Well, you want them healthy. You don't want them tired. And, the ups and downs of crash, like JJ said, of coffee it's not always the ideal way of going, right? So
that's a great staff incentive too.
Yeah.
Right. If you keep them healthy and happy, then they, like you say, they're going to show up.
Yeah. Well, we've been working with Lululemon for some time. We actually have a tap handle in the Lululemon store on 4th, where customers can walk in and just pour themselves a kombucha while they're shopping, as well as being in at least one of their head office locations here in Vancouver, where we have a keg in the office for the staff while they're working to be able to go and pour kombucha, and that's been successful for us.
Mm-hmm. I just want to go back to the liquor bit, and to say, I think really when it comes to health, there's kind of health and there's healthier. And really, if you're going to be consuming cocktails anyway, to have a kombucha cocktail is that healthier option. And I really think that's something that we kind of work towards as well. It's not just about being this out-and-ness monster the whole time, looking fabulous, but it is about creating this healthier body, this healthier lifestyle. It's about all these steps that we're starting to take within our lives to make sure that we enjoy ourselves, but also continue to get healthy. And I think that's where, like you said, you jumped in that mojito lime. The first thing you're doing is thinking, hey, what can I add to this? And there's that real inspiration. You know, the chef in you comes out and says, hey, I can make something out of this. The base is great. Now what can I do to make something totally different? And we have. I went to a wine pairing the other day, and someone had taken our refresh, and they iced it, and that cucumber coming through just to freshen your palate between meals was stunning. Like, and I was like, I love this. This is fantastic. You know, straight away something different. And so there is so much that we can do with the products that we have in the hospitality industry, that I think for me as an entrepreneur, you know, I love innovation. And so I really would just love to see kind of what chefs are making out of this.
Well, I can give a direct example. I did a 60-person plated dinner for a brewmaster dinner paired with Four Winds on Tuesday of this week. And I made our energy, which is raspberry, into a gastrique, and with a crispy pork belly, and it came out fantastic. It's got a really tart finish, but you can still get the raspberry. It's beautiful. So there's definitely cooking applications with this product and all of our products.
And to speak to that, I instantly, when I saw the lemon ginger, I thought that's a fish batter.
Yeah, really cool.
It just the flavor alone with the fermentation. That was, again, you say chef's palate. Where do you go with it, right? Let's talk about the Kefir water. I know people are now more familiar with kombucha, and I know that you guys are focusing on more flavors and a little bit different angle with the Kefir water. Tim, what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so the Kefir water is it's another fermentation product, but it is quite different to the kombucha in some ways, but very similar in others. So for the manufacturing side, what happens with the kombucha is you have this colony of bacteria and yeast that sits on the top, and your sugars kind of sit on the bottom. And so it's about this interaction that happens between the two, converting the sugars into eventually the probiotics and the bacteria. With the water kefir, it's what we call Japanese crystals, and they just sit on the bottom of the tank with the sugar, and then it ferments within that water and releases the probiotics and bacteria. It's a much quicker fermentation. So for instance, our fermentation on the kombucha is anywhere between 15 and 20 days. And then on the water kefir, it's a lot quicker. So with that, you end up with it has a slightly higher sugar content. It's slightly sweeter. But what's great is, the best way I can describe it when it comes to probiotics and bacteria, kombucha is like this, water kefir is like this. So with kombucha, you get more probiotics, more bacteria, but there's a smaller range of them. Whereas with water kefir, you get a wider range of these of the bacteria, but it's less intense.
Right.
So it's better to have one of these and then one of these than it is to have 6 of these. So that's where it starts to come in. And the water kefir really it's starting to pick up in terms of awareness. People kind of got into the milk kefir, which is a pretty strong taste. When you taste this, and you guys can account for this as well, so I'm just not the one sitting here selling it as the owner. Like it's a really palatable, very flavorful, and pleasantly flavorful drink. So it's something that if you don't like kombucha, and I'm glad, Jason, we've moved you over to the circle that does now. But if you just had a horrendous experience with it and you're like, there is no way I'm going near that, I'm just not even going to touch it, it was terrible the last time, water kefir is actually something that is that step into it. It's that way for you to have a fermented product without the kombucha sort of taste, and it's non-caffeinated because there's no tea in it.
So the way I've been explaining it is this: the Kefir is like an entry point into this world, and I think Tim hit the nail on the head. If you've tried kombucha before and didn't like it, or been kind of weary of getting into it because you don't really know about what's going on, this is a great product that Tim can enjoy it right now. This is a great way to get into it because you get the benefits of it, and it's much more palatable and approachable, I think is the big one. For me, I would see this, I think this is going to be the big next kind of step in the fermented beverage world, but we'll be able to have some legs to run with to compete with soda and pop. And I personally would prefer to drink this over any other carbonated beverage.
Now, you guys have been playing with the science, playing with flavors, playing with all kinds of things. You have come up with a new product,
Yeah.
which is going to be available at a particular Happy store the 1st of July. Am I right?
That's correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
Have you tried it yet, or is this the first time, Jason?
We're going to crack it.
There we go.
In fact, let's all do it.
Absolutely. Cheers, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, that's clean too.
Oh, yeah.
The raspberry's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll introduce that this is a vodka soda, and if you have not tried something like this before, this is the one to go to. It's delish. So Tim was talking about making cocktails with his lovely wife, and is that how you came up with vodka in the kombucha?
Yeah, I mean, this has been. Well, let me just show you everybody what the color is, just so you can see that as well. I love drinking my drinks out of glasses as well as cans, but we have been working on this for let's say 5-6 years. This has been a vision on how can we do this? How could we make this happen? There's actually a lot more that goes into making this than just pouring kombucha and pouring vodka together. There was a lot of kind of painstaking failures that we had to go through over the last few years till we eventually figured out how to do it. And so to have this hitting the shelves is really exciting. It's taking that kind of healthy hard seltzer market and bringing a healthier option with more flavor, with real ingredients. And that was something that we kept that passion about, is we were like, I don't want to be just given this artificial flavor where it kind of tastes like, like those ice pops that when they've melted.
Right.
That's how I get that flavor. It's kind of like this sickly sweet kind of plus vodka. So we wanted to have something that you smell and you're like, hey, I can smell the raspberries from this. You taste it and you're like, there is depth to this. There is flavor to this, but it's also light and it's refreshing, and I could enjoy this. And are you sure there's vodka in this? Is usually the response that we get. So coming to the point where we're at with this, I'm really happy with it.
Well,
I think there's a big market for RTDs, or ready to drink vodka sodas right now. You see the ads, you see the shelf space in the stores, and I think what separates us for Pick Me and our kombucha vodka soda is that you cannot just buy a bottle of vodka and a bottle of kombucha and make this. We've got a very specific process, and it's unique, and what you're left with is a delicious drink that will work on the beach, on a boat, at home, in a restaurant. A lot of the products, the RTDs that are coming out, are convenience based, where this is a product that's driven by being unique and being very specific to the kombucha world.
Yeah, and it's gluten free, and it's vegan, and it's keto, and it's paleo.
1 gram of sugar.
One
Less than
gram of sugar.
yeah.
100
that's a
calories.
comment unto itself. 1 gram of sugar.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've been a chef a long time, but I got fat off of drinking wine.
Yeah.
Well, at least you enjoyed it.
and I've enjoyed every moment of it. However, the sugar content is what gets you.
Yeah.
It is.
And that's the hangover.
I want to ask you guys, I mean, it's not every business gets an opportunity to put their product, especially a product like this, out to market it on the shelves at the liquor stores. And in our region, it's through I think quite a process to go through BC Liquor and whatnot. So how do you jump through that hoop?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with people that are working in this industry, and I think that's really important when you're looking at when you're looking at launching into an area that maybe you don't have the expertise in, is bring someone else in, bring someone in that knows it, knows how to create this. So we worked with a packaging company that's in the alcohol industry, and they really helped us get through those steps a lot quicker. So now we're listed with the BC Liquor Board, which is the only way that you can sell any alcohol in BC. Right. And so we're concentrating on just getting this launched out here, getting it into people's hands, and then and we're just going to kick on from there and just keep going.
You know, really the focus for, I think you asked earlier, Jason, on where we wanted to go, and I agree with James, we want to go everywhere, but if you look at the breakdown of where the kombucha consumption is happening in the world, really it's British Columbia, Washington State, Oregon, California, and then that would probably equate for 60 to 70% of consumption in the market. There are spots here and there, at least in North America. Australia's got a huge culture as well. Fantastic. And what we would like to do is find a way to get into those markets and get what we believe is a fantastic product. Right. Where people are drinking kombucha already, and then continue the education process of how do we get everyone else up to snuff on what's going on with what they're consuming, so they know what they're putting into their bodies, whether it's our line of kombuchas, our water Kefir, or even Pick Me, which is the RTD product. There are things that we can teach and we can offer to help people live happier and healthier through using real products and real food and real drink. Now,
you mentioned going into Australia. I will say that a huge number of our followers are from down under, and God love them. So this in its recorded version will definitely be viewed by Australia and of course across North America. You guys, I know that we have spoken about looking for places to, of course, expand the business into, maybe production partners and whatnot. Is that something that you guys are looking to talk about?
Yeah, we are exploring that avenue. We are looking at the moment at bringing in some large funding so that we can expand into all of these areas. We're very confident with the product that we've got. We're very confident with the conversations that we're having. And this is basically taking this $800 million kombucha industry in North America, combining it with I guess what is now, well, it was like a $500 million hard seltzer industry that's hitting triple figure growth. Amazing. So we're very confident on being in the right place at the right time with the right product. And what's exciting is this is step one. We have so much more that we are lined up, and we're like holding on to it, going, we can't release it yet. We can't release it yet. It's not ready. So there's so much more that's happening. But we really do. We want to get this as into as many hands as possible, so we can have people getting healthier, getting something that they enjoy consuming, that they can share with friends and family, and know that it's not killing them.
Well, I got to tell you, I was nothing short of impressed when I tried the product. Meeting with you guys has been awesome and educational, and I'm always stoked to learn more from entrepreneurs and to find out where they've come from and what your purpose, what your vision for the company is. And people love to buy from genuine people and with a genuine product and genuine ingredients. And you guys are all of that. We've got some questions. The fun thing about this program is it's a Q&A. So I'm going to read a few of the questions, and then we can go on. We can choose who's going to answer them. The first question is, going back to Keifer, is your Kefir vegan?
Yeah, it is. The whole facility is. The whole facility is gluten-free. It is vegan. It's something that we felt was important to consider. I'm not vegan myself, but we want to be conscious about our consumers. So yeah, vegan.
Fantastic. The next question is your product available in the US, and how can I get you here?
Call James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you all my information.
Not yet in the US,
Not
but
yet in
we
the
would
US.
love to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
That's the next hoop.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what we're kind of doing to set up our distribution here that can go into the US.
Awesome. Where can I buy Pick Me, and when is it going to be released?
The 1st of July, and we'll be available. The first location we have confirmed is at the Steamworks Cold Beer and Wine Sales down right at the convention center, the C-Bus terminal right beside there. And then James and I are going to be going out this afternoon to confirm a number of other private liquor store locations in Vancouver.
Yeah. Can restaurants order it in? Can they bring it in now to be ready for the first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can either contact myself or James directly, and we can submit our first order through the BC Liquor Board to have the delivery set for the first, or our product is listed with the BC Liquor Board,
So you can order it
for yourself.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I had one more comment, not a question, on here. I'm drinking your blackberry charcoal kombucha right now. Amazing.
Yes, that's awesome.
So awesome. You know what, guys? Thanks so much for participating in Real Hospitality Live. We, of course, are live right now, but we will have this video will be recorded, and you'll be able to find it on YouTube over the next week. All of your contact information, of course, will be put below. Again, today we've been talking with Tim Hill, James McGregor, JJ Frasier, all from Pure Plus. And these guys are coming from the right place with the right product, and it's delicious, it's interesting, and there are so many different applications to be able to use this. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming on, and this has been awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Appreciate it.